this is like a very popular one with celebrities, like a celebrity will complain, and I'm sure I'll get comments on this video, like, someone well off will, share negatives, and everyone is like, oh, but you're rich, it doesn't matter. Or I see this all the time, like, there's football players that have like, issues or financial scandals, and it's like, oh, but it doesn't matter because you already made millions. It doesn't mean you're not going through pain. You've made, like, guys, you have to understand, making money and being happy, they have fuck all link with each other, apart from the fact that you can alleviate some of the downsides that come with being broke by having money. Yes, you gain financial freedom. Yes, you can pay for medical bills. Yes, you can look after your family. And yes, these are genuine stresses for people without money. But at the same time, it does not ensure happiness. I wouldn't say, like, I'll be honest with you, I would not say I am more happier now. In fact, I would say I'm less happy than what I was 7 years ago. But I'm not chasing happiness. Like, I'm chasing something bigger. And I would say I'm more fulfilled now, but I'm not as happy. There's a big difference, right? And maybe fulfillment is happiness. This is the question of what even is happiness. Like, I think for most people, happiness is defined as like fleeting moments. That feeling of being on a holiday, oh, I'm happy. That feeling of, playing a video game and achieving some unlock, oh, I'm happy. Like, they're fleeting moments. It's not actual happiness. I don't even know if happiness exists. I think there's purpose and fulfillment and enjoyment, and I enjoy building the business and I'm fulfilled by it, and it keeps me stimulated. So I think chasing stimulation is better than chasing happiness. I would say being in a resort like this 6 years ago with my friends would have been a fucking blast. We'd be at the bar getting pissed up. We'd be going out. We'd be having at the time of our lives. I would have felt like a king here. The reality is, running a big business, it makes you more stressed. And what you have to do to cope with that is, because you're dealing with difficult environments all the time, is your stress tolerance increases. So you naturally create this hard shell, which it protects you. If I get a call right now from, a partner and a deal goes south and I lose 100 grand, I'm no longer freaking out about that. Whereas a couple of years ago, I'd be in hysterics over that because I built this stress tolerance over time. But what creating that hard shell does is it not only mutes the bad feelings and the stressful feelings, it also mutes the good feelings. So the happy feelings of like being at a sick hotel or, doing normal human things that are supposed to bring you enjoyment, I find those things are muted as well. And it's a massive trade-off in business. If your goal is peace and happiness, as we, kind of had a bit of a temporary definition of before, then you're probably better off just getting to like the 10, 20, 30K a month mark and calling it quits, or getting to, that base level of freedom and then kind of just maintaining. Because the reality is, the stuff you need to do, the stress you need to take, frankly, the size of the team you need to scale from like 5 million to 50 million to 100 million plus, it's huge. It's almost immeasurable. So I'm actively trading like short-term comfort and happiness for this bigger vision. And that's actually not something I recommend most people do, to be honest. I could have stopped when I was making 50K a month and just kind of said, all right, that's it. That's cool. I'm just going to chill now. And I'm just going to enjoy everything. And my dopamine baseline won't be as fried because I'm not bringing all this stress into my life. But once again, as we said before, that's not what I think will fulfill me long term. But you have to be wired a very specific way to be an entrepreneur. You have to be really fucking passionate about this stuff to be an entrepreneur and get your passion from the business. And, that's kind of how you experience these moments of happiness. So, but it's a genuine downside as well, that you don't enjoy the things a lot of people enjoy, and it makes you hard to relate to. It makes, it causes friction in relationships. Dating's a whole other topic. It makes that really difficult. I still haven't found a long-term partner, partly because I'm not looking super hard because, I'm focused on the business, but that's an area of my life I haven't nurtured. So, you sacrifice a lot of things. Family dynamics also shift. That's another point between family. And, luckily my family is very supportive and nothing's changed too much, but especially for the extended family, the dynamics change. The way they look at you changes. I wouldn't say it's impacted my relationship with my parents negatively. In fact, I feel like it's better than ever. But, the relationship with extended families definitely changed. And the other hard thing, and I had this with my mum once, she saw a post that I made, where I said something controversial, and she's like, Miles, I didn't raise you to be like this. And she got all angry. And because we were away from each other, she was just consuming my life through Instagram reels. So all that she saw about me was what I was posting on Instagram, which is a very filtered version of who I am and what I value, right? Because you can't share absolutely everything, and not everything would do that well on social media. And this creates a weird dynamic of other people are living your life through social media now, which the extended family, I don't talk to as much outside of that than my parents, right? So if it's affecting my mum, imagine how it was affecting other people's view on me, because that's all they consume. You know, I've even had friends where, you know, they've consumed my content for a year. I've come back, I've visited them, and they're like, wow, you're still really humble. Like, that's crazy. Like, you're still, you know, they kind of look at me with like this perplexed look that like they can't believe that I'm not this crazy person now, and I've still got some like humanity about me, because all they've consumed over the past year is my content. And that's part of the reason why I'm trying to create different styles of content, right? To share where I'm really at. Like, these vlogs are obviously one vertical, you know, more content on that side of stuff, but it's inescapable that you're gonna have to post, you know, the baity stuff or the more, you know, money-centric stuff if that's, you know, a big part of your audience, which it is for mine. So that's definitely something you need to navigate.